Hi there, AV Tech, Madison High School. Welcome to week 10. So this is where we are starting to kind of ramp up to the end. And so we're going to be getting into some really cool stuff. And I look forward to seeing what y'all come up with, because now you're going to be kind of the leaders of your own learning in the next few weeks. So I kind of gave you a baseline all the way through the contemporary era of American literature. And so now it's time for you to kind of take that and move forward in your own understanding of what that means to you. So, this week is going to be a little bit different from what we have been doing. And so that I noticed in some of your reflections and some of your feedback that it was getting a little stale in how we were running the class. So I'm trying to change it up a little bit. I'm very excited about the body biographies from last week, and I hope you enjoyed those short stories. They're some of my personal favorites. So this week, we're going very light on reading. And so there are just a couple of like short pieces by Elizabeth Acevedo. She's one of my personal favorite poets. And then also some poetry by Gloria Anzaldúa. And there is Monique Marie Cummings, and these are all contemporary poets. And so what you're going to be doing this week is going to be starting to plan out your poetry critique project, and then also to start selecting what book you're going to read for the next few weeks. And so let me go ahead and walk you through the poetry critique project, and then from there, I'm gonna also walk you through what you're going to be doing in regards to your book. So the poetry critique project. So we've done a lot of American poetry, and so we have 4 large assessments in this course. And so one is the editorial, which everybody did, and you did wonderful on. There's poetry critique, a presentation, and then the final. So the poetry critique is due right before spring break. And so this one is focusing in on 3 American literary poems that have a common theme. You can choose where I suggest going from different centuries, but just the theme is what matters. So as you're looking through, pay attention to contrast, juxtapositions, diction shifts, all that. But you want to annotate the 3 that you pick after you decide what theme they have. And then you're going to have a reflection. This reflection does not have to be a formal paper of any sort, but it's just a way that you are going to be discussing the poems and how they are in concert with each other. But I do want you to bring in some outside sources, and it can be in first person as long as you're talking about the text. And so you have to write at least 3 pages, but it does not have to be a formal paper of any sort. And then after your reflection, you do a choice board option. And this choice board option is for you to have a little bit of creative freedom, where you can create a 1-pager if you would prefer, or a research piece, or writing 2 poems in the style of another poet, or a poetry explication, or to recreate the poetry in a different format. The key there is more that you're talking about the poems together and how they are informing about something in regards to the American identity, the American dream. So, so this will be something that you're going to be working on in the next couple weeks, due right before spring break. So this week, what you really need to just focus on is picking your 3 poems and starting to annotate them and finding the theme. And then next week, you'll be like drafting and putting it together. But this week, I would definitely encourage you to choose your 3 poems. So for the poetry critique project, that's what you're going to be working on. You'll see here that I have your final exam posted. I'm not going to talk about it right now in this video because I'm going to talk about it in more detail in the future weeks. But I did want you to see that it is there. Several people during the forum post were what did I put out? The Google form, yeah, said they weren't sure what they were choosing a book for, and just so that you know what's coming, it's there so that you can look at it. But what I want you to notice here is that I have posted for the final that you're going to read one longer piece of American text. We definitely had a variety that people were interested in regards to plays and novels, but what everybody has said is that they need access to the texts because they're not in the textbook and not readily available. So here is the list that I curated. You may choose a different book or a different play as long as you talk to me and give me a good pitch as to why it is. These are the ones that I am particularly fond of that I think are really integral to American literature. So, in the next few weeks for your final, what you're going to do is you're going to pick either a play or you're going to pick a novel, and you get to choose which one it is. The nice thing about plays, they're a little bit shorter. They use a lot of specific dialogue techniques, and so you have to read between the lines a little bit because it's all based on how the characters are talking to each other, the setting, etc. If you're more inclined to novels, then these are some novels. Now, one thing to note, these are online links. So they're not always the best. If there's something broken or if you're not able to access it, just let me know. I'll try to find another one. But I wanted to make sure that what I found for you were most of the text in full. So what you'll do is you'll look through, and I just encourage you to just kind of like play around and just see, like if you're really interested in Huckleberry Finn. Okay, you open up, and then I have the online text of Huckleberry Finn, and you can read it here. Now, that being said, if you don't like reading online, because I sure don't, and you want to get a copy of the text, I fully encourage that. But if you're not able to, like, these links are available to you. Zora Neale Hurston, Their Eyes Were Watching God, fantastic book. Alice Walker, and then there's Great Gatsby, Octavia Butler's Kindred, and then these playwrights got Edward Albee, Susan Glaspell, Lorraine Hansberry. So they're all fantastic texts. So it's just depending on what you're interested in. So I want you to poke around. I want you to pick one that resonates with you, that you can devote energy to a final exam on. And again, if you want to know what the final exam is, it's here, but what you're focusing on right now is picking and making sure that you are going to commit to something that you're going to enjoy. The only assessments for this week is personal storytelling, which is based on Elizabeth Acevedo, and also like your identity as a vocal storyteller and who you are as a reflection. And then the only thing you have to do on your book or play is you have to choose a question from this list to go into detail about in regards to what you're reading, and then respond to other people. And so it will be fairly light in regards to just like the workload per week, but we will be having some larger projects. And so just as you are making your plans for the last part of the semester, just kind of keep that in mind, that you're going to be doing a lot of your own driven investigations of what you're interested in regards to poetry and the American novel. Well, I think that that's it. If there are any questions that pop up as you are picking your reading or as you are deciding what you want to do for your final or your poetry, let me know. But I look forward to seeing what you all come up with, and I hope that it is a wonderful week for all of you. So thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.